Chelsea in the Coca-Cola Cup. For the tie of the round, Newcastle versus Manchester United. Also tonight, a difficult tie for Arsenal at Oldham. Oldham beat the Gunners en route to the final 5 years ago. Tricky for Jurgen Klinsmann and Spurs as well at Notts County. The Coca-Cola Cup possibly Tottenham's only path to glory. Plus the best of last night's third round action, including that dramatic 7-goal thriller at Loftus Road. Hello, good evening to you. 4 Premiership clubs failed to make the third round of the Coca-Cola Cup, and 6 more at least are bound to make their exit this time around. 2 actually went out last night. Ian St John is with us. Ian, let me just talk about one of those ties. QPR losing to Manchester City, and a lot of protests from the fans.
Well, I wasn't at the game, Bob. There was talk of a lot of protests. I don't know how much there was really. But I don't see them as being a crisis club, Queen's Park Rangers. You know, Jerry Francis has got them playing good football. The Ferdinand didn't play last night, which obviously affected him a little bit. But I don't see them really in crisis.
Yeah. He certainly put a brave face on it, Jerry, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
Well, now, first stop tonight, Upton Park for West Ham United against Chelsea. 2 clubs who met in the Premiership just over 3 weeks ago. The Hammers inflicting a home defeat on Chelsea in that one. Commentary at the Bowling Ground from Brian Moore.
Yes, a full house here tonight to greet the arrival of the 2 teams, and a full-blooded Coca-Cola Cup tie in prospect as well. Let's just check on the sides then, starting with West Ham. And they, indeed, as Bob says, are one of the form teams of the moment. 4 wins in their last 5 games. And they field the side that beat Southampton on Saturday, with the exception that Don Hutchison now returns to their attack. He's recovered from a groin strain and plays alongside Tony Cottee, with Lee Chapman dropping to the subs bench. And the second game after the homecoming of Julian Dix at left back. Chelsea, meanwhile, have got an injury list that's longer than most. Their latest casualty is Paul Furlong. He was injured against Ipswich on Sunday. Gavin Peacock and Neil Shipley are Chelsea's front men here tonight. Jakob Kielberg has received a knock also in that match at the weekend, but he's shaken it off. And the other good news for Chelsea fans is that manager Glenn Hoddle is now just about a week away from fitness once more. Our referee tonight is Keith Cooper from Mid-Glamorgan. We talk about West Ham being the form team, but Chelsea in the all-blue strip. They got back on the road again on Sunday with a victory against Ipswich. In fact, they've won 8 of the 15 matches they've played so far this season, 2 others drawn. A good start, and then a lull, and now they're looking to pick it up again. Wise towards Shipley, and it'll be Rush who'll get this one away for West Ham. Hits it long towards Cottee. Johnson up there for him. Pace will be frantic, you can be sure of that in these early stages in particular. And a lot of feeling always when East London cuts up against West London. Little flick there by Hutchison. Again, Johnson's there. Gavin Peacock. The throw then to Chelsea. Tony Barnes with it, former Charlton player. Smackman just lifting it forward. Latest update on this new stand at West Ham, still due to be finished and ready for occupation on Boxing Day. Its name, they haven't got a name yet. In fact, West Ham are looking for a sponsor to put a name to that wonderful new stand. Free kick to West Ham. Foul on Tim Breaker. Gavin Peacock. Allen hits it forward. Rush, who's strong, gets in behind them. And his cross just a little too powerful. And Chelsea have no trouble getting that one away. Julian Dix with the throw. Hutchison, who's put West Ham ahead with a great strike beyond the dive of Cabin. The most perfect start for the home side. just back in the side after recovering from a groin injury and doing really well with that shot. From Julian Dix's long throw. A little touch. In steps Hutchison, and West Ham are ahead. Johnson. Wise. Challenged there by Allen. It'll be a gritty affair in that midfield. Martin Allen and Dennis Wise, you can be sure of it. And if you mix in Julian Dix as well, you can be sure there's going to be a pretty fine competitive edge to this game. West Ham fans delighted to see him back after his not very happy time at Liverpool. Shipley wins it in the air. Peacock takes it on. Strong challenge there from Alvin Martin. And it's caught Peacock. And it's a real tough challenge. Oh my goodness, that really turned Peacock's ankle. And that, I would have thought, is a pretty serious injury. Well, a clash between two good, honest players, and sadly, Gavin Peacock is the one who finished second best. It's more than ever important for Chelsea now that Glenn Hoddle gets back to full fitness and back into the action again. Marsh playing it in. Hutchison's in again. But some good challenging there by Gareth Hall. Great ball in by Mike Marsh as well. Here it is. And what an excellent piece of defending by Gareth Hall. But it provides West Ham with a corner. Alvin Martin's in there. Martin Allen's in there. Julian Dix is up from the back. Hutchison, who's 6'2", might well have something to say here as well. But it's Julian Dix with a header. But straight through to the keeper. Harry Redknapp delighted with West Ham's good run, which in fact started with a victory at Chelsea earlier this month. A 2-1 win at Stamford Bridge. Dix. And now Bishop. He's beaten the offside trap this time as Hutchison plays it in. Went a long way across that Chelsea penalty area until Barnes got it away and found Rocastle. In turn, it's with Wise. Neil Shipley. That's a good shot. Thumped with some power by Neil Shipley. Still only 19 years old. Bishop. Rush. Breaker. Potter's in there. Hutchison on the far side, coming in on this one, gets the header in. Martin Allen also! But from West Ham's point of view, just the wrong side of the post. But again, a good move. And Don Hutchison playing a big part. He's 6'2", he gets up so well here. And Martin Allen trying to guide the ball into that corner. The half-time whistle. And Don Hutchison's goal after 2 minutes gives West Ham that lead at half-time. West Ham 1, Chelsea 0. And the workers who are working so hard on that new West Ham stand, Builders Perks, they're getting a good view of the game, and now they're off for a cup of tea. Well, there's been one substitution at half-time. Keith Cooper, the referee from Glamorgan, has got trouble with the left Achilles, and the substitute referee, one of the linesmen in the first half, John Norbury of Essex, now takes over. West Ham then leading by 1 goal to 0 in this Coca-Cola Cup tie, and they'll get the second half underway. Bishop. It's Rocastle. Martin ducking underneath this one for McCloskey to come up and gather. Rush can pick it up. He should have been able to. Breaker. Allen. Hopkins after him. And gets him. And gets the ball. Chelsea coming away now with Shipley on the far side. Newton's gone through the middle and the ball went straight to Alvin Martin. And here's Bishop for West Ham. And out by Johnson. Dennis Wise. Spackman. Johnson. Wise finding Hall. Back to Kielberg. Spackman. West Ham can't get a touch at it at the moment. Shipley going on and might still go on further. In the end, the angle was, as they say, impossible. But at least Chelsea get a corner. Just thinking of Steve Potts probably. As you could see. So Chelsea's corner. Played to Gareth Hall and then swung in by him towards Johnson. Pushed away well by McCloskey. Another corner for Chelsea. Good header that time by Johnson. And good knock away by McCloskey. Here comes another corner then for Chelsea. Kielberg went for that one. They've got another corner. Kielberg surprised by that. The West Ham players unhappy with that decision. But Wise goes now across to the other side to take yet another corner for Chelsea. Now he's played it to Barnes. A long way through, and McCloskey didn't let his eyes stray from that ball for a moment. Into the path of Rocastle. Shipley wanting it as well and gets it. This looks a more promising break. Kielberg's made a terrific break through the middle there. And a great save by McCloskey from Dennis Wise's flying header. He's brought off two tremendous saves in this second half. This was a great Chelsea move, the best of the game by them. Shipley's cross met by the flying Dennis Wise. And you could see there was no margin for error with that excellent save by McCloskey. Here comes the corner. Wise will take it. It's a lot more about Chelsea in this second half. And as I say, you do get the feeling West Ham are going to need a second goal to get themselves into that draw tomorrow morning. Dix hitting it long. Rush chasing. Barnes had come across to mark him well. Paul also. Not forward again. Wise. Resting again, this time towards Neil Shipley. Bishop gets it away. Gentle little pass, but a good one to Marsh. Marsh in turn to Allen. Persuading Breaker to make the run down the right. Rush is outside him. Breaker gets a second chance. Bishop. Back to Allen. Breaker at offside. West Ham fans up behind the linesman disagree. Chelsea just want to get on with it now. Wise to Hopkins. Barnes. Dix. Put towards Hutchison. Just kept in play by Rush. Calls for a good cross now. Didn't quite get it though. The tempo's increased, the temperature's gone up, and we've got a much better game on our hands now. As Hopkins looks for Shipley. Wise again has made a good break. Here's Shipley once more. Driving it hard against McCloskey. Well, without doubt, it's Chelsea's best spell of the game. And West Ham have really looked to McCloskey to pull them out of trouble 2 or 3 times in this second half now. Here's Hall. Just dinking it in there. Oh, West Ham struggling to get that one away until the trusty boot of Alvin Martin did so, and it's released Tony Cottee. Newcastle's after him. Cottee still chasing away. Down he goes. Cottee claiming a foul. Hopkin. Oh, another good save. That looked for a moment to be heading into that far corner. It had a lovely swerve on it. Time is now beginning to run out for Glenn Hoddle's men. Alvin Martin to Marsh. The thing is not to lose the ball here, and that's exactly what Marsh has done. Now can Chelsea punish them for that? Lee. Dix. And a good save again right at the last from McCluskey, but there goes the final whistle. Dennis Wise just couldn't inspire Chelsea to a victory, and so it's Don Hutchison's goal scored in the second minute of the game that puts West Ham into the next round of the Coca-Cola Cup. West Ham 1, Chelsea 0.
5 wins out of 6 now. It's something of a run, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good run. And to be fair, the game we lost, Matthew, up at Old Trafford was probably our best performance. The one defeat was, we played superb up there and got nothing for it. Got beat 1-0. A bit like Chelsea played second half tonight. You know, they played ever so well and came out with nothing. We played that way at Old Trafford and came out with nothing. That's football, isn't it?
What's the latest on Gavin Peacock?
Gavin's gone for x-rays to see if he's broke the ankle, but we're hoping, keeping our fingers crossed, that he hasn't. But it looks as if he's badly strained the ligaments. So again, that's another blow for us. I mean, it's incredible now. We've got 18 on the injured list.
Finally, do you have a preference for the 4th round?
Not really, no. Obviously, just only, you know, if we get a home draw a game, we'd be very fortunate, wouldn't we? So I feel we're playing well at the moment, so we're full of confidence.
If you play badly, you can put it right on the training ground and hopefully go out the next week. But if you just keep getting these injuries, which are major injuries, there's not a lot you can do about it.
Any prospect of you buying?
Well, this is something we might have to think about, but at the moment I've been told there's no money available.
Okay,
15 injuries for Glenn Hoddle and Chelsea this season, I think. I think actually Chelsea can feel aggrieved after their second half display.
Great second half performance, Bob. Yeah, I mean, West Ham had it first half, Chelsea second half. But I mean, it was. You have to say at the end of the day, you know, that things are not running Chelsea's way, are they?
No, West Ham did get off to a great start, and it was a lovely goal. It was beautifully created.
Yeah, I mean, Don Hutchinson, who was playing up front tonight with Tony Cottee, and it was that partnership actually that they got the goal. There's Hutchinson there, bending it into the corner. It was a beautiful, beautiful ball, really, wasn't it? And it was little Cottee that you'll see here. He was a target man here, lays it off to him, and there you go, just bent round the goalkeeper. You couldn't blame the goalkeeper for that. You've got to give credit to the strikers.
No, you said it. I mean, you said it was a great start for West Ham, but in the second half it was a real siege. And he's a much maligned keeper, Ludo McCluskey, but he kept them in it.
Well, I mean, you know more about goalkeeping than I do, but
Only
I giving you the benefit of the doubt this one. I always admired this big fella. I think he's a smashing big goalkeeper, and his second half performance there, I mean, he was leaping around, diving around, he was magnificent. And one save that he made from Dennis Wise, I mean, this was an incredible save, because little Dennis, I had to be a diving header for Dennis, you know. There you go. And McCluskey got across, and Dennis was about 7 yards out, got a lot of power in it.
He went, actually, Dennis Wise got up and went and shook his hand after that.
Yep, well, he's a nice wee man, that we do.
Thanks for that moment, Ian. Well, coming to Cola Cup third round action, we're off to Boundary Park now, where Oldham, mid-table in Division 1, entertained Arsenal, mid-table in the Premiership, but having won their last 5 League and Cup games. Team News and Oldham are at full strength and running into form with just 1 defeat in the last 7 games. Arsenal are without John Jensen, who can't score for them, and Ian Wright, who can, 14 goals in the last 10 games. Your commentator is Alistair Mann.
Haller. The header away by Winterburn as Danger was pulling away. Haller once again with an opportunity to cross. It's aimed towards Holden. Holden got there, headed it well, but Seaman very casually watched it go by. But it was a good header that from Holden, and a fine jump as well to get there. Haller's ball in, and Holden on the end. But you could see Seaman was quite sure it was wide. Nick Henry. Good touch by Banger. Rick Holden, he's got away from Adams. He's tried the shot and Adams was caught out, but Seaman wasn't. Adams was snapping at Holden as he got that away. And Seaman had to be at his sharpest to tip it over. Now watch Adams, number 6. Snapping away, trying to tug at him, but Holden got the shot away and Seaman got the tip away. Nick Henry. Easy that for Adams. Campbell finding Merson. Merson setting Parlour on the way, and he's got the legs of Poynton. Might have to go alone. Great shot, super save. No wonder the hands went on the head for Ray Parlour. That was a good save by the under-21 goalkeeper, Paul Gerrard. Not the most effective corner that Arsenal have ever taken, and in the end it's Banger, has no support, will have to go alone. Holden's racing to try and give him some help. Banger's happy to go alone, and there's Holden almost. Dixon in the way. Well played, Nicky Banger. Well chased, Rick Holden, and the Oldham fans encouraged. Banger was all alone. Holden in the background was racing to try and get there. Low driven balls. Seaman did well. Holden's arriving. Dixon even better defending from him. Here's Poynton again. It's going towards the goal. It was curling all the way. It looked like a cross. It was in fact a bending shot, and it bent viciously. Poynton ushering men towards him for the throw. Adams up towards Smith. Campbell, Merson, Poynton's challenge, Merson tumbling, corner. Well, it would have been interesting if Merson had tumbled instead of trying to keep his feet here. Let's look at it. Well, he was caught, wasn't he? Merson, though, happy to try to continue. Here's Banger. Here's Poynton. Banger tumbling. No signals from anybody. Banger stayed on the floor. Now what does our replay show? Well, I think in fairness to Adams, Banger fell over the leg, to be fair. Here is Banger again. Oh, he's done well again. Redmond was thinking about having a crack, met it well. McCarthy's kept it in play, he's met it well, and Seaman's positioning was really of the highest order. Well, Seaman's been the busier of the two goalkeepers, no question. Redmond can hit a ball, and we've seen it over the years. McCarthy then tried to make something out of it. Seaman gathered. Here's Bernard. Merson. Good pace from Parlour. Poynton sticking gamely to the task. Here's Henry, outstanding in the first half with the Oldham midfielder. And that's a super ball finding Banger. Has support to the right-hand side if he looks up. Decides to go alone through the centre. Graham tried to poke it through. McCarthy couldn't get there. Holden straight into Seaman. One wonders how satisfied George Graham is. Well, a shake of the head perhaps sums it up. Not too satisfied at the moment. Jobson again there. Henry away. Winterburn forward, looking for Campbell. Haller lets the ball go out of play. We really haven't seen too much of Kevin Campbell. In fact, we've seen more of him in a defensive nature at the back, covering corners and the like. And that's just how well Oldham have played the Arsenal forwards. Merson trying to get away. Good shots. Schwartz it was. And a fine little palm away by Gerrard. The swerve was wicked on that ball. Schwartz connected. looked easy at first, but it was bending away, and Gerrard had to get there. And Schwartz nearly opened the scoring for the evening. Gerrard there again, Campbell got there, and we nearly did see Campbell for the first time in an attacking sense opening the scoring. Gerrard came, Campbell was always favourite, couldn't quite get the direction. A shake of the head from Campbell, he knows that was a real opportunity. McCarthy, it just broke for him, but Schwartz got in there. Henry. Holden peeling away to the left-hand side. Henry going to the direct route. Banger on the volley! Good save by Seaman. Oh, that was a good save by Seaman. And the Oldham fans have a new hero in Nicky Banger. And he nearly got the goal that could well have won the tie. Great shot. And Seaman did well to gather it. Here's Poynton. McCarthy on the chase, Bold there with him, Seaman slices it, Bernard tries the shot and it's gone wide, and that was a tremendous opportunity for Paul Bernard. And David Seaman's slice clearance isn't punished as harshly as it could have been by Bernard there. The ball forward was aimed towards McCarthy, Bold and Seaman slice, Bernard's shot tantalisingly wide of the goal. Banger again. Poynton looking for McCarthy. Linesman's flagging. That'll be another free kick to Oldham, and Bowl looks as though he's talked his way into the notebook. And he'll do well to possibly a little quieter now, so that it's only a yellow card that he receives. Leaning on McCarthy was the offence, but the reason he's been booked was for mouthing. Holden to take. In towards Banger, in towards Graham, and his head goes over. Banger and Graham darted to the near. It was Graham who got the touch. Banger 8 couldn't reach it. Graham 9 did. Off his shoulder and over.
So it finished 0-0. Replay at Highbury in a couple of weeks. We'll have that for you on Carlton Sport. The quote tonight, Ian, from George Graham is, highly relieved.
Well, I think the goalkeeper was relieved, all the rest of the team were relieved. Because, I'll tell you, going up to Oldham, a difficult place to go to, because Joe Royal's team, they like the big games, don't they? The cup runs in recent years have been good, and it's always a difficult place to go.
Current form's good for them as well.
Current form is good. I think they've, lost 1 in 7. So it's not bad.
George Graham won't be happy with another game on top of Cup Winners' Cup and everything else. That
is correct, because they've got enough on the plate at the moment. So, you know, they could have been doing with getting a victory tonight. OK, after the break, when Newcastle United were drawn to meet last season's beaten Coca-Cola Cup finalist Manchester United, Newcastle currently leading the way in the Premiership, United reigning champions, and closing the gap of the weekend, they're now third. Now, Newcastle are without the injured Rule Fox, Robert Lee and Barry Venison, but they have picked the strongest team available to them. Manchester United, on the other hand, have picked only 3 regulars, Irwin, Bruce and Pallister, despite manager Alex Ferguson's statement that he would field his strongest team. Commentary at St James's Park from Roger Tames.
Huge kick by Cernicek. Kitson looking to get there before Walsh. Walsh was brave, but he didn't get the ball. He did that time. That was improvisation there from Gary Walsh. Kitson ready to chase a long one, and Walsh, only his 4th game of the season, showed that he was alert there when given a second chance. Howie came up. Cole was lurking there, but it didn't reach him. Beardsley has hung deep for this one. Looking to spread it. Sellers. Peacock. Sellers. Sellers delivering from the other flank. Again, Kitson looking to come in on it. Albert it is now to knock it in. That got a deflection, and that's a corner kick to Newcastle. They're beginning to settle into their rhythm and beginning to put Manchester United under increasing pressure. Had plenty of height in the box, Newcastle, with Albert, Howie, Peacock, Watson ready to make a deep run, and Kitson, of course, And Sellers, the man who can knock these dead ball kicks right in, he got a knock on the near post. And Albert, who has been so obviously bursting for his first goal in a black and white shirt, loves to push forward. No matter what team Alex Ferguson had put out tonight, this is still a match the whole of Tyneside has been waiting for so eagerly. Another capacity crowd. Beckham. And it's Gary Neville, a 19-year-old, with first chance really to push forward and help the attack. Gillespie skipping round the defender there, and with a chance to cross it back, and Cernicek was left stranded almost. But what an escape for Newcastle, caused by Gillespie. Under pressure there from Howie. Peacock just did enough, but nearly caused more problems for Cernicek, who was left struggling. Knocked on at the near post. Cole was lurking, so too Kitson. Desperation to get it clear. Against the post from Howie. Still spare Peacock. Bodies in again. And once more, it was another desperation dive from Steve Bruce. And now there could be something on from Manchester United till Cernicek got it. Howie still can't believe he didn't have a birthday present then. Howie looking to celebrate then. Never got it clear. Kitson was challenging. Walsh punched. It was really at full stretch. Whacked back by Howie against the post. Then Peacock. And look at that saving effort there. Bruce, inspirational. Ottinger. Albert. Pressure mounting on Manchester all the time. Beardsley looking to just dink the ball through. Watch for the offside. But Beardsley has held off. And now Sellers. Just wide. Newcastle's experienced players then keeping their cool, waiting for teammates to go onside again. Albert was the one who drifted forward. Beardsley held it up. Sellers curled in the shot. A yard wide in fact. Knock on there for Kitson. Kitson. Another player here tonight looking for his first Newcastle goal. And confident in his shooting then. Peacock playing it in. Flicked on neatly by Sellers. Getting a yard on the defender. And it was another yard that was needed to get it inside the post. Again, Gillespie's taken up a good position. Beckham, nice turn, nearly coming off, still might. Watson a full stretch there. Still, Newcastle haven't got the ball clear. Too tight there. Ottinger eventually sorts it out, but still, it's messy. And Scholes, Howie straight in there. Good tackle, it needed to be. Howie, realising he was the last line of defence, made the tackle really count against Paul Scholes. He got 2 goals at Port Vale, of course, in the previous round. Corner knocked in. Off the line there, it was Bruce's header. Ottinger there, man in the key position. There was Ottinger, and his positioning was immaculate. Albert's first time ball, bringing in Watson. Beardsley's come up on the outside, first time. Kitson, great save, Walsh. Super move there from Newcastle, and Kitson once again looks down and out. Brave header, brave goalkeeping. Here's the replay. Beardsley suddenly sprinting out wide, immediately banging in that cross. Kitson going near post, and Bruce, who else, was challenging, and he certainly came out second best. With blood splattered around Paul Kitson. He's got to battle on. It was a genuine clash of heads by committed players there, both going for the ball. Keegan can not rest easy, at least let this formation go on a little longer. Beresford overbalancing but still finding Cernicek. Cole. Bruce for Irwin. Beardsley chasing at him. Watson getting a foot in. Now Watson. Beardsley again has gone wide. First time for Watson. Watson can hit them. Just wide. Watson loves to have a pot shot. His strength from midfield is a major asset and such a natural athlete. On the left foot this time, but a good yard or so wide of the target. Albert. Kitson has gone into an offside position. Bales as the referee. Sellers. Scott Sellers inside and outside and still in possession. Waiting for support. Albert. Kitson was on the far side. Watson for Kitson. Cole is in the middle. And Bruce once again gets there first. Still Newcastle in possession. Alistair this time. Beardsley, the control. Back again though. Beardsley. Sellers stretching. And Beardsley really pings his passes. Kitson turning quickly, knocking it into the middle. And Bruce once again the saviour. Alistair cool under pressure, but Sellers is in there. Sellers still going. Sellers! Cole! Bruce! And who else but Bruce, the back man? You're almost ready to shout goal every time Cole gets the ball in that sort of position. Sellers getting all the way through. Cole did well then, and Bruce inevitably there to clear. As Cole chasing again, Walsh calmly there for Bruce, equally composed. Alistair's given it straight to Sellers though. Now Sellers could try one from here, over the top. And Manchester United just a little too casual then. St James's Park fans have only seen their team fail to score on 4 occasions in the last 50 home League and Cup games. But time is definitely starting to ebb away for their team tonight. Beardsley. Newcastle fans going through their repertoire, but not a huge amount to sing about so far. Beardsley, Kitson. Watson got a foot. Sellers. Hottiger now with the chance to cross. Albert's arriving. Albert! Great goal, Philippe Albert! His first for Newcastle. What a time to pull it out. The big man gets his goal. Those United fans and Kevin Keegan know it was an awful long time coming. An international goal this. Switzerland with the cross. Belgium the header. Hottiger picking out the big defender, pushed into midfield, and a classic strike. Albert's first. Newcastle are ahead, and the youngsters now are right up against it. He's such a cult figure here at St James's Park, and Philippe Albert has made himself the most popular man on Tyneside tonight. Tomlinson. Scholes cut out by Beresford. Beardsley's got a yard or two. Kitson through the middle. Kitson, can he get to it? Kitson round his man. Perfectly taken. Paul Kitson gets the first for Newcastle. James's Park. It's all smiles now after a night when Kitson has taken his share of the buffeting, but he was unruffled as Beardsley knocked it through. Kitson off like a shot and slipping it past Gary Walsh. 2-0 for Newcastle. Kitson, his first goal since arriving from Derby County, and taken with great precision.
Well, Ian, I guess Alex Ferguson's selection tonight suggests that he's not too bothered about being knocked out of the Coca-Cola Cup.
Fergie's priority has always been this season the European Cup and obviously the Premiership, if he can win that again. And he did it in previous rounds of the Coca-Cola where he played some kids. Tonight, I think up in Newcastle, they'd be a little bit annoyed where he kept it a secret, the fact he was playing 7 of his kids. 7 young players played, but I have to say they were brilliant.
Yes.
It was a super game, and the young players were fantastic.
They nearly did it, but in the end there were 2 debut goals, as it were, for Albert and Kitson. Let's have a look at the Albert one, because it was a beautiful header.
Well, that's right, and I think at the end of the day they just probably wore them down as the youngsters got a bit tired. Bruce and Pallister, who'd played, you know, heroically all night, weren't there, and then comes Albert with a header, and it was a great ball. And I mean, there had been, you know, chances at either end, and as I say, the experienced defenders caught out there with a header, and he went and buried it.
Newcastle's 15th win in 17 games.
Superb, isn't it?
Yeah, they're going well. Newcastle. Coca-Cola Cup third-round ties took place last night. There was plenty of drama then as well. Rounding up the action, Gabriel Clark.
Well, the tenants were the hosts, but it was the landlords who got the only goal. The commentary from Brian Moore.
Well, Vinnie Jones's header goes conveniently for Bobby Bowery. Attacks well down this right-hand side. Southgate's done well for them as well. It's Armstrong who's put Palace ahead. A great move. And a super finish.
They're off, and no team's been quicker out of the blocks this season than Queen's Park Rangers. 13 seconds was the official time on Kevin Gallen's goal last night. But if it was a shock to City, it only spurred them into the sort of form they've been producing at Main Road in the Premiership. Here's Alan Parry.
Some good pressure here by Manchester City. Headed only as far as Somerby. Tremendous goal. The Rangers straight back on the counter-attack, and it comes here to Sinclair. Often does that happen in football? Somerby providing the early cross. A very confident shout for a penalty, and indeed the referee has given it. Their captain, Keith Curl, who hasn't scored a goal yet this season, will take the penalty against Dijkstra. 2-2 it is. Haven't seen him at his best really tonight, but that's excellent play. Somerby, he's done well to get into the box here and lays it on for Walsh, and back to Beagrie. Yes, it's 3-2 to Manchester City, and a suitable celebration. Good movement by Walsh, and he helps it out to Somerby. The cross in towards Beagrie, and a good ball. Can't stop scoring goals, Manchester City. Bardsley turning it on. He chose headers. Chance for Penrice. Yes! Dibble has been beaten. Queen's Park Rangers have pulled it back to 4-3.
On to Anfield, where one of Liverpool's all-time greats made it to 100 cup goals.
Fowler freeing McManaman. The man he can do no wrong at the moment. What's his cross going to be like? Rush is coming short. McManaman goes alone. There's Rush, and there is a beautiful goal. Carruthers, toe-to-toe with Bad. It's on a bad cross. Pescasolido's got the time. He scored. Paul Pescasolido scores for Stoke City. Tom Barnes. What can he see? What can he do? He spots Jones. He's got a chance. Passes it on to Rush. That's not a bad choice, because he doesn't miss.
From Rob Palmer at Anfield to John Helm at Bramall Lane, where things just get worse for Sheffield United.
And Patalainen is in here, and Mixu Patalainen gives Bolton Wanderers an early fillet. Again, it's near post, and a goal for United, headed by Nathan Blake. The perfect start to the second half for Sheffield United. Patalainen and McGinley both in there. Oh, it's an own goal! It's an own goal! Thompson took it off the head of Andy Scott, past Alan Kelly, and that sums up Sheffield United's current fortunes.
Millwall made it look easy at Mansfield Town, who'd somehow bridged the class divide to shock Leeds United. Richard Cadet is doing all he can to turn his loan from Falkirk into a permanent move back to London. There were a few anxious moments for Mick McCarthy, but Millwall were going away again by the finish. And Mark Kennedy made sure of their place in the last 16.
Well done, Millwall. But of all those games from last night, I know you've praised this man a million times before, but Ian Rush, because they were special goals.
Well, to get 100 cup goals in your career is absolutely phenomenal, and I do think that Ian Rush is probably beginning to dry up as far as league goals are concerned. His ratio of goals for games is not quite what it used to be, but to get a couple there and to break that 100-goal barrier, I mean, really is phenomenal.
Well, highlights now of some of tonight's other ties, starting at Meadow Lane with a game that Ozzy Ardiles declared this morning he dared not lose. Here's Gabriel Clark again.
Banned from the FA Cup, pending appeal, docked 6 Premiership points. The Coca-Cola Cup represented Tottenham's season. Inside 20 minutes, the fizz was starting to drain out of it. Torsved, Austin and Calderwood had all been recalled by Ozzy Ardiles. They could all do nothing about Tony Agana's electrifying opener. Notts County hadn't won at home in the league all season. 3 minutes later, Tottenham's suspect defence were outmanoeuvred again. This time, Austin can't cope with the busy winger Andrew Legg. And once he's got to the byline, Spurs are in trouble. Gary McSweggan makes it 2-0. Now more than ever, Ardiles needed his millionaire imports to demonstrate that delightful attacking edge. Instead, Ilie Dumitrescu pressed the self-destruct button. He'd already been booked when he appeared to go over the top on the county captain Phil Turner. Was it deliberate or not? Dumitrescu pleaded innocence, but it was too late to say sorry to referee Keith Birch. Off went the Romanian in disgrace, and with him went Tottenham's chances of staying in the competition. Notts County, bottom of Division 1, were never really troubled in the second half. Tottenham's defence were, and Paul Devlin, the Notts County number 7, and Agana showed a lot more urgency to set up McSweggan for number 3. "We want Ozzy out," was the chant from some Spurs fans towards the end. Ardiles has lost the game he said he couldn't afford to. All eyes now are on Alan Sugar. Nottingham Forest went to Wolves, second in the Premiership. Commentary from Alan Parry and Jimmy Greaves.
Wone will take the kick left-footed, and he can get a lot of curve on these and does towards the near post area. It's almost scrambled in, it is in! It might have been rather a messy goal that, but it's a goal nonetheless, and it comes with only 6 minutes of the game gone. It looked as though Wolves had survived it, but no.
I think Stuart Pearce got this. I'm not 100% certain, but it might have even been an own goal.
Well, excellent ball to Brian Roy. Problems here for Wolves.
Wonderful. Another great move by Forrest. And he goes past the defender as though he's not there. He's a class act, there's no question about it.
Thompson driving it in, Pearce with the clearance. Bulls there again. And it comes to Kelly, and he lays it off to Birch. Yes! Maybe that is the chink of daylight that Wolves have been looking for. 4 minutes to half-time, they pull the goal back. Paul Birch. And in fairness, it was an excellent move.
It was a good move, actually. The ball was well won by Stevie Ball. And this is a great strike by Birch. Great strike. Curls beautifully into the corner.
Good position this as well for Wolves.
Drive it in.
Froggatt does just that. It's a goal! Wolves are level. David Kelly's header. Hardly a flicker of emotion from the manager. But inside he must be absolutely delighted. They pulled back what looked frankly an impossible situation. 2-0 down to 2-2. Once again, this free kick is very much in Stuart Pearce territory. There's an option on if they want. David Phillips can hit the ball as well as most. But I think Pearce will fancy this one. And whacks it straight through. The deflection has taken it in. And that might well be the winning goal now. And Pearce has had a hand in 2 of Forest's goals tonight. That could be the most important.
Well, it's definitely an in-off.
It was Kelly.
The holders are through as well, although Brian Robson won't be too pleased with the goal that won it. Goalkeeper Alan Miller was convinced he was pushed. Andy Townsend picked up the pieces. But on chances created, Ron Atkinson's side were worthy winners. To Hillsborough and the man in the mask. Bruce Grobbelaar's fancy facial wear protected his broken nose, but he ended up being a bit of a lone ranger in the Southampton goal. Commentary from Gary Bloom.
To be a handball there by Hyde, and Sinton's through again. And it's a goal. This time Sinton's industry results in a goal for Sheffield Wednesday, scored by Chris Bart-Williams. The breakthrough comes 5 minutes into the second half. Sinton to his left. And Southampton just for the moment are being pressed back. Bart-Williams, he could seal it. Oh, that's a terrific save from Bruce Grobbelaar. Mask and all. This surely would have sent Southampton spinning out of the Coca-Cola Cup. Terrific control by Bart-Williams, and how about that for a reflex save from Grobbelaar?
Portsmouth's win over Everton is now a distant memory. Derby went to Fratton Park and won it 40 seconds into the second half. Trevor Harris is the commentator.
Derby have it. Tommy Johnson's got a bit of a knock, but they're playing on. A decent shot. What a fantastic goal! Out of absolutely nothing. Derby County have stung Portsmouth here. A terrific strike.
They beat Premiership Leicester in round 2. First Division Swindon in red were rather tougher opponents for Brighton. 25 minutes in, young defender Andy Thompson rewarded Swindon's pressure from Joey Beecham's corner. Brighton had lost 4 league games in a row before tonight, so they'll be reasonably pleased with the second chance they'll get in the replay. Paul McCarthy's bundle goal has given them that chance. At Prenton Park, Tranmere were a touch unlucky to go behind at half-time. Liam O'Brien missed his clearance. John Polston scrambles Norwich ahead. But when you've got John Aldridge, you've always got a chance. 20 minutes from the end, and with Tranmere's smooth football starting to create more openings, Pat Nevin does superbly. That's 15 already this season for Aldridge. It finished 1-1. They replay at Carrow Road. And 2 more for Alan Shearer. In the first half, Blackburn looked a little hungover from Sunday's defeat by Manchester United. But 9 minutes into the second half, Coventry City can't clear, and in swoops England's number 9. And after that UEFA Cup defeat, the Coca-Cola Cup is very important to Blackburn's season. And when Jason Wilcox and Graham Lasso carve open Coventry's right side, Wilcox's cross is seized on by Shearer. That's 9 for the season to him, and Blackburn are into the last 16.
2 more goals for Alan Shearer, but only one big story tonight, Ian, and that's
Yes.
Notts County 3, Spurs 0. Bottom of Division 1, Notts County.
I feel so sorry, really, for Ozzy Ardiles, because I do like the way that his team plays, and he's always an attacking manager, and he's brought really exciting players to Tottenham, but they can't defend. Now, we've sat here in previous programmes and talked about it. Remember the Watford game, and we discussed this as well. They just can't defend, and I mean, it doesn't get any better.
We can give an example of how they can't defend, because the third goal was a good example, wasn't it?
Well,
really?
I mean, to be fair, all the goals tonight, I mean, were really poor defensive play. I don't know where they get to, some of these defenders at Tottenham. They're just standing around watching the game. You watch this, and they eventually get onto the byline here, ball gets squared. Now look at that, I mean, really, seriously, I mean, that is shocking, isn't it?
So really, accepting that you love Ozzy's style,
yes.
Will Alan Sugar like the style? He's the man who brought him there to solve a problem for himself with Terry Venables.
To appease the fans, yes, I think that was it. And Ozzy was a very popular figure at White Hart Lane, and that did appease the fans at the time. I think it's crunch time now for Ozzy. Which way will Mr. Sugar go? He's the man with the money. He brought him in. Will he say, OK, Ozzy, it's not working, off you go?
He has a ruthless reputation.
Well, he certainly has, and I mean, you know, if I was Ozzy tonight, I mean, I wouldn't be you know, too convinced that my future lies at White Hart Lane, with Mr. Sugar being there. But I just find it all rather sad that it's gone that way, Bob, you know.
Well, that's the serious side. We need a smile. The Phantom of Hillsborough.
Brucey Groveler. I mean, I know it's getting near Halloween, but I mean, this is ridiculous with Brucey, coming out there with a fancy dress. Well, he did get to the ball there, that was for sure, didn't he? I mean, the serious thing is that he got a smashed cheekbone, as you know, Bob, and obviously, and his nose was broken as well, and the mask is there to protect it.
He must have got it from a witch doctor in Zimbabwe, I think. Finally, let's catch up on all tonight's results with Gabriel.
In the Coca-Cola Cup third round, Aston Villa 1, Middlesbrough 0, Blackburn 2, Coventry City 0, Brighton 1, Swindon Town 1, Newcastle 2, Manchester United 0, Notts County 3, Tottenham 0. Oldham 0, Arsenal 0, Portsmouth 0, Derby County 1, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Southampton 0, Tranmere Rovers 1, Norwich City 1, West Ham United 1, Chelsea 0, Wolves 2, Nottingham Forest 3. And finally, the Scottish Coca-Cola Cup semi-final, Celtic 1, Aberdeen 0 after extra time. Celtic will play Wraith Rovers in the final on November the 27th.
We must have a comment on that. What about that? Celtic against Wraith in the Scottish Coca-Cola
Well, as one English commentator once said, they'll be dancing in the streets of Wraith. That is a fantastic result for the Kirkcaldy team to get to the final and play the Celtic. Now, Celtic haven't won a trophy for a number of years now, you know, they've been in the doldrums. So, for them to win tonight, Brian O'Neill got the goal for them, beating Aberdeen, who are struggling a bit. But for Celtic to get there, they must now fancy themselves that are going to lift the Scottish League Cup.
Just a final overview of the Coca-Cola Cup and how it's shaping up.
Well, I mean, it's you've still got a few of the London clubs still in there. You know, it'll be nice to see what happens in the draw. And with the Arsenal, as we were saying earlier, having the replay, you know, they're still in the hat.
Lucky old Arsenal.
Well, I didn't like to say lucky Arsenal, Bob. I know that a lot of people will be saying that after tonight.
I'd better not say that, had I?
Oh, yeah.
Ian, as always, thanks very much for being with us. Well, now, don't forget, you can see the draw that Ian was talking about for the fourth round. First, on this channel, GMTV has the draw at 7:20 tomorrow morning. Just looking further ahead, there's a Champions League special at 1:10, that's on Saturday. It will, of course, be previewing Manchester United's big night in Barcelona a week from now. The whole game live, with the programme beginning at 7:20. Also this weekend, the Saints Soccer Skills on Saturday and Sunday, with special guest John Solarco. And then we have Stoke versus Wolves, the live match, that's at 2:45. And finally, watch out for all the Ensley League action next Monday night in Ensley League Extra. As for tonight, two more London clubs go into the hat, West Ham United and Arsenal. But the headlines tomorrow are unfortunately going to belong to Spurs and Ozzy Ardiles, as of this moment out of the two cup competitions and the championship race as well, from Ian and from me. Tonight, West Ham United face a severe challenge at Upton Park from those cup giant